Ladies and gentlemen, there are more people terminated behind the Tyre Nichols story. And I just want to take the opportunity to say something. I saw the post that you're putting out there about it's about a woman and I'm not doing that story, and let me explain why. Number 1, y'all are all over the place with this info. Some are saying it was a girlfriend. Some are saying it's a wife. Some are you saying it's an ex-girlfriend. Some are you saying it's an ex-wife. You're not even straight on that. You don't even have that straight. And what's the name of this woman? Everybody got a name. What's her name? I'm not getting any names. It's not coming from a good source. It looks almost like Breonna Taylor all over again. Everybody swore up and down the stories they were putting out were factual. And now, come to find out, the cops fabricated the entire drug story. That's why the feds got involved. And you got Kelly Goodlett spilling the beans about what those cops did. So, all those Breonna Taylor, Queen, drug pen, and all that mess is null and void. And I just don't want to get in a situation of putting out a story with all this vague information, some social media post and some article that didn't provide any good information, possibly seeing this woman. And if it was an ex, it wouldn't have been wrong for him to date somebody's ex. And ultimately, look at the situation now. He's going to go to jail. And I know who you're talking about, Demetrius Haley. He's going to go to jail. So this woman is ultimately going to be dating other men and possibly getting married. So, no, until it's better information, a better source, and the story is coming from people directly involved, then no, I'm not going to do the story. And I'm sick of people writing, I'm surprised you ain't talking about this. I'm surprised you're talking about it with the flimsy information that you got. What is this woman's name? Y'all don't know nothing about this woman, but I'm supposed to talk about this invisible woman that might be involved in this whole thing. I'm not going to do it. So let me get into this story. So, ladies and gentlemen, 3 fire personnel were terminated and 2 other Memphis officers were placed on administrative leave over Tyre Nichols' deadly beating. This is according to officials. So, the fallout from a deadly police beating of a black motorist, Tyre Nichols, now includes the firing of 3, because they already fired 2 um, fire department personnel a little earlier when the case unfolded. But now there's 3 additional people. Man, it was a lot of people there. That's the thing. So, 2 emergency medical technician and a fire department lieutenant have been terminated over their response to Nichols on January 7th encounter with members of the now disbanded unit, which they're talking about the Scorpion unit of the police department. Memphis Fire Chief Gina Sweat said Monday police pulled Nichols over in what initially was a suspicion of reckless driving. Officers yanked him out of the car and he ran away from officers, deployed pepper spray, and he got tased um, to make him lie down because they wanted him to get down on the ground. And the officers caught up to him at a second location where he was kicked. He was even kicked in the head numerous times and beaten. according to body cams and surveillance videos. 3 days later, we know he died from his injuries. And this is what they're saying. The emergency medical technician, Robert Long, and Jamichael Sandridge, and Fire Lieutenant Michelle Whitaker have been fired, the fire department said Monday. The investigation concluded that two EMTs failed to conduct an adequate patient assessment of Mr. Nichols after responding based on the initial call in which they heard a person was pepper sprayed and information they were told at the scene, Sweat said in a news release. Whitaker had remained in the fire truck, according to the chief's assessment. So this person came on the scene but never got out of the vehicle. Then what good would it have been for you to be there? You weren't even helping anybody. All right. And the fire department said earlier this month that two EMTs were suspended pending an internal investigation. The truck carrying the EMTs arrived on the scene at around 8:41 to find Nichols on the ground leaning against a police vehicle and called for an ambulance at 8:46 p.m. The fire department said an ambulance arrived at 8:55 p.m. and left with Nichols 13 minutes later, according to the fire department. Poll camera video released Friday shows between the time the EMTs arrived and the ambulance arrived, first responders repeatedly walked away from Nichols, with Nichols intermittently falling on his side so he couldn't even sit up on his own. And why were they walking away from him and not treating him at the scene? They weren't doing nothing for him. Also, Monday, the police department announced that 7 officers were placed on administrative leave after the beating, 2 more than previously announced. 5 of the officers, of whom we know who they are, we already got the information on the 5 that were charged with second-degree murder and other charges. So one officer said, "I hope they stomp his A." And that was the most recent one I did. Preston Hemphill, he was the one that said that in the video. All right. And he was the 6th officer that was suspended, and there was a 7th officer. There was a 7th one, according to a CNN report, that were placed on administrative leave, and they were placed on leave on January 8th. And Preston Hemphill actually was placed on leave early on. It just didn't make it into the news until yesterday. All right. So on Monday, one of the officers, which I did a video on, Preston Hemphill, who is white, was said to have been placed on administrative leave in the beginning of the investigation. This is according to a police spokeswoman, Kimberly Elder, declined to say if Hemphill was being paid. So he could have been on paid leave because that's not unusual. They would not say whether he was or not. The city on Friday released the body cameras, which many people have seen by now. Later, Hemphill is saying in the video, "I hope they stomp his ass." That's what he said. The body cam video does not show Hemphill at the second site. All right. So who knows what's going to happen with their investigation at this point, but it's still ongoing. So there is a seventh officer not yet identified. So they'll probably be identifying that officer real soon. Attorneys for Nichols' family wonder why authorities were quick to fire the five black police officers and charge them with murder while staying relatively quiet about Hemphill's role in the encounter. So they're saying they are disappointed about that. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for being disappointed about how they handled this white officer opposed to the black officers. And he was on the scene and he was doing things to Tyre Nichols too, you know? So that's why that's why the family said they are disappointed. So later, one of his attorneys, Romanucci, said on CNN, this is such a gross collapse of the system and that we're supposed to trust that it really is unspeakable. The Nicholas family is trying to absorb it all. Weeks after Nichols' death, many questions remain among them whether more officers will face charges or disciplinary action. Memphis City Council, Frank Colvett, wants to know why more officers at the scene of Nichols' beaten were not disciplined or suspended. And he was asking this question this past Sunday. So, Shelby District Attorney Steve Mulroy office is looking at everyone involved, including Hemphill. Mulroy told CNN Anderson Cooper on Monday that includes the fire department personnel and people who did paperwork for the encounter. Nothing is being ruled out, but we need to ask for patience. So I guess these folks are still being investigated until they decide to make a move on what to do with them. So that's what he is saying. He said everybody needs to be patient. There's still a pending investigation going on into these other people, you know, that they're mentioning. So, y'all, you know, the thing is, it just seems like as we go along, more and more people are coming out of the woodwork. And it makes you wonder. It sounds like there were well over 10 people there. When you think about the two officers plus the fire department personnel and the five officers that were arrested, you're talking well over 10 people. And they're talking about even more people maybe getting terminated and could be facing charges. So, and I think even in the 10 that I mentioned, that's still not everybody that was there. I mean, this whole thing is just crazy on what's happening, but I'm sure if there's more information, it will come out soon, you know, but we will wait and see. I mean, you're talking about a story that's still unfolding right now. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.